know what happens when you're dropping fire?
Things start to burn.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened too. We have the sales queen, Erica Nicole, who is phenomenal at showing up and breaking down all of the lies, all of the myths, and showing you the exact way that you can land your sales and show that you care about people.
Hmm.
Erica, how you doing, girl?
I am good. How are you, Greg?
Girl, good don't even begin. Good is the enemy of great. I'm
Oof,
great, and I feel greater that you are here.
I love it. Thank you. I'm so excited to be here today. I'm so excited.
That excitement is going to bleed through in the passion you have for your people.
Absolutely.
Now, when I first met you, I found out when I came into the space that you just had this confidence about you. And I was like, wait, who? She never comes on camera, but when she comes on, she shows up. And like you have this way about how you sell that you just command
Hmm.
the attention of the room and you
Hmm.
lead people and guide people in a way that they already wanted to go. But most people are like deathly afraid of sales.
Hmm.
Like they are so afraid of sales. If they don't come to them already sold, they're
Hmm.
like, no, I don't want to do it. I don't want to talk
Hmm.
to people. Why do you think that is?
I think so much of it, and I would say I haven't always been this way, right? This is
Mm,
something that I have built on, that I have learned from watching. But I think so much of it is rejection, right? So
mm,
many people are scared of somebody simply telling them no. And because they have that fear, they just don't do anything. It's like fight, fright, like fight, all that kind of stuff. And so
yeah.
they just stop.
Fight, flight, or freeze.
Mhm,
Yeah.
that's what it is. I can't get it out.
Yep, yep.
Hmm.
No, you're absolutely right. I'm looking for the do not disturb. Like these I don't know if you can hear it on here, but like messages just come through on my phone
Coming through.
here all day long. Um, Rejection. You nailed it, right? And
Mhm.
why do you think rejection is so hard for people?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it comes from just the life that they've lived, right? Like, if it's hard to differentiate between like real fear, right? Something actually hurting you in the moment and what your mind is determining as fear, right? And so a lot of times our bodies have a reaction as if something right now is going to hurt me, so I shouldn't do anything. Even if there's not something that's about to hurt me or kill me right in front of me, there's no immediate danger, our brain still takes it as something is about to hurt me. And so when they do that, they go inside, right? They go inside their shell and they get scared. So I think it's really like what they have learned up to now is fear, and how they have taken in for themselves to not do something because of what they are thinking is fear.
It's interesting you say fear. Uh, my mentor, when I told him I had fear, he said, what you have isn't fear, it's anxiety.
Mm.
And what
Mhm.
anxiety is using the energy that you have to imagine something you don't want.
Mhm.
And when he said that, it's like, yeah, I knew that. But for
Mhm.
some reason, the way he speaks is so elegant. I heard it differently because it was like fear is real and present danger.
Mhm.
Fear is like there's a bear at my
Mhm.
door and I know he's gonna knock it down any minute and I could die.
Yeah.
And there's a lion in the bathroom, so
Right. Where am
I
I
don't know
going
what
to
to do.
go?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So how did you like I want to speak to the viewer that hates sales, that
Mhm.
thinks sales is grimy and dirty and just greasy
Mhm.
and wants nothing to do with sales. How did you overcome that fear?
Yeah. So really, it was like changing my perception of what
Mm,
was happening, right? Instead of me looking at this as me trying to get somebody to do something that they don't want to do, I started looking at it as if this person is talking to me, if this person is looking for something, it is for a reason,
Mm,
right? There is something either missing in their life, there is something either that they are trying to gain in their life. And so they are having this conversation with me, or they're out looking for whatever because they need an answer. They need something met, right? And so now it's like, and I look at myself as meeting somebody's need.
mm,
And when you come into a situation and you're like, I just care about you, I just care about how this is going to benefit you, and you stop thinking about yourself, that's a big
mm,
part, right? You stop
mm.
thinking about yourself and you start thinking about how this is going to further somebody else's life. You are able to differentiate, right,
Mm.
between what is happening right now and the perceived desire that you are trying to get them to. And it just changes the way that you go about the whole conversation. Now they stop pushing you away because you're not just talking about you, you're talking about them. And people love to talk about themselves.
Girl, tell me. I've been doing this podcast for some years now,
Hmm.
and I will let you talk about yourself all day
Hmm.
because you're the expert, and
Hmm.
people need to feel like they're an expert, right? So
Exactly.
I love that you said that because what I see a lot, the biggest mistake that people are making is, hey, look at me. I've got
Hmm.
this thing for you. I've spent years on it. I love doing it. You should buy it.
Hmm.
Crickets.
Hmm.
Right? Like I don't know, man. I don't trust you.
Right.
I don't know you. I don't like you. But as
Yeah.
soon as it's flipped on its head, and isn't
Hmm.
that how God's world just kind of works? It's just like
Absolutely.
everything we think we know or everything we've been taught,
Hmm.
turn it upside down, and that's God's
Hmm. Exactly. Exactly. Because if you were in a conversation, just like we're in a conversation right now, and I just kept talking to you about whatever I wanted to talk to you about, you're going to zone out,
world.
right? Because that's not how God does things either, right? He looks at your
Mm,
heart, He looks at what you're going through, and He cares about what you're going through and your desires, right? But He
mm,
understands that in order to get you to the actual desires that you want and that you need, He has to get you on the right path first.
mm,
And that's exactly what you're doing. You are guiding people to the desire that they already have, but you
mm.
understand that you have to get them on the right path first. And that starts with beliefs. That
Yes,
starts with how they are already moving in their life. That starts with what they need to sacrifice and give up. Like it starts, all of that is wrapped up in that conversation, and it becomes so beautiful to have and to see somebody go through.
absolutely. And it's so necessary. People
Hmm.
avoid it. And like the obstacle is the way. Like
Hmm.
the heart, if you have resistance, you have to go toward it.
Hmm.
Like fear is a mile wide and it's a mile high, but it's only paper thin. And once you bust through, it's just muscle memory.
Hmm.
So breaking through that thin veil of, oh no, what if they say no? What is your, I know people talk about objections, right?
Hmm.
How do you deal with objections?
Objections are really this is how you should look at them. Objections are the reason you should say yes. I don't have enough time. Well, if you want enough time, this is going to help you get enough time. I don't have enough money. Well, if you don't have enough money, this is the way to get you more money. Objections are literally the reason you should say yes. That's how I look at objections.
Oh my gosh. I I never thought of it that way. It's yes, it's
Hmm.
the obstacle is the way.
The obstacle is the way. Hmm. Hmm. I see your brain just got blown.
It's just, oh my gosh. Yes, because every excuse people give me to not do something, whether
Hmm.
I'm selling them on a product, an
Hmm.
idea, a service, every excuse is the exact reason why they need to say yes to the thing I'm offering them.
Absolutely.
So how do we overcome objections?
I don't like to look at it as overcoming objections, right? Like
Mm,
I said, this is a guiding process. And
mm,
at the end of the day, everybody knows what is best for them, right?
Mm.
But if you have come to me and we have been having this conversation for the last 20, 30 minutes, clearly you know that there's something that you need, right? And so
Right.
all throughout this conversation, I like to call it planting seeds,
Mm.
right? I know that you have a need. I know that I have an answer to your need. So I'm going to plant seeds throughout this conversation that at the end of it, I mean, objections should be minimum.
Mm.
They should be at a minimum, because throughout this whole conversation, we have been breaking down these beliefs. We have been understanding how this is going to benefit your life now. We have
Mm.
been looking into the possibility and the hope that you can now have in your life. And so throughout, once we get to the end of the conversation, you should be like, yeah, I'm excited. Like the person that
Mhm.
I'm about to become, like, man, I'm in. What do we need to do? How do I get signed up? And if you are not at that point, either you don't need my services or I have not done a good job guiding you to where you already want to be.
That seems counterintuitive to what everyone has been selling us with sales for the last, I don't know, 100 years.
But you know what I always say? It's one thing to do what people tell you to do, it's another thing to do what people do, right? So I might tell you to do one thing, but I might be doing something actually different.
And not even realizing it,
Not
huh?
even realizing it.
Wow. So
Mhm.
that brings me back to a time where I was at a cafe mentoring another junior designer,
Mhm.
and I spent an hour with him talking, then realized I was late for an interview. Took
Mhm.
the interview live with him and ended up getting the job. And when I got off the phone, I apologized. We were just about to set a calendar date for the next time. And he says, I learned more from watching you interview than anything you just taught me.
Mhm. Mhm.
Wow. And
Mhm.
like I wouldn't be able to communicate anything I did on that call because I don't even know what I did. I just was me.
You hitting it on the head.
You are
Welcome to my
blowing my
first.
head.
Man, that was my first obstacle becoming starting sales, starting my sales business, right?
Yeah.
Because I knew what I knew and I could just do it naturally. But
Mm,
now I have to teach somebody else how to do what I do.
mm,
Very hard.
yeah.
Very hard, you know? And so yeah, I was putting that in, but it's crazy. People need to see it, right? You are a figure, right? You are somebody that somebody is looking to. And when people hear things, and that's the other thing, there are different types of learners, right? But when people hear things, some people can audibly pick up things. Some people need to
Oh
see things
yeah.
in order to learn things, right? Some people
Right.
need you to take step by step every single little piece for them to put it into place. And so also taking that into effect that there are different type of people.
Yeah. And you're not always talking to the same person.
Hmm.
So that's why one size fits all cannot work. Not that it doesn't work, it can't.
Nope.
Wow. Erica, every time I'm in your presence, my mind is blown again. And I'm like, how much more does she have? Like, surely she's run out. Like, the well can't be that deep. Nah, but she keeps digging. It's
You're so silly.
so I, I'm genuinely like, because here I think I know about sales, right? But
Mhm.
ask me why I don't have a sales job making more, or why I have a salary job, or why I keep going back to waiting tables, right?
Mm.
Well, I kept not going back there again.
Right.
I'm still a server at heart,
Yeah.
but you will never catch me in a restaurant unless I'm eating.
Mm-mm.
Um, my wife hates to go out with me when we go to a restaurant because I
What?
can't I can't help but like get up and try to help and serve and
Oh,
mingle with the staff and stack the plates for the waiter and take them to the back. And when we need something, I get up and go get it. And they're like, "We're
right.
here to be served." I'm like, "I can't help myself."
That is so sweet, Greg. What do you think? I think I've heard.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. So with that in mind, that you got to keep in mind the different types of learners.
Mhm.
Um, Drop a formula on us here. Like we need some kind of framework on how to speak to the different people. I think that would be really valuable for our listeners and
Mm,
viewers.
let's see, what can I say? I would say if you were looking at a full sales process, right? Your first step is always to listen. You should be listening. You should take in all the information. So I'm gonna mark that as L, listen, right? O, I would say is observe and understand, right? So once I listen to you, I should literally be able to take what you have said to me and reply it back to you in my own words, right? Because people need to feel understood. If you don't understand me, how can you help me? Right? And then I would say the last one is give them the option and the opportunity to change their lives. Like I said, if you are in conversations with people and you are talking and they have come to you for whatever situation that they are in, you need to make them an offer at the end. Whatever that offer is that you feel like you can help them with, right? And this goes with any type of relationship. Like when I think about sales, it's not just like a business to business relationship. You are selling all throughout the day, whether you
Yeah.
want to, you know what I'm saying, whether you want to take it in or not. People are selling to you all throughout the day. All of those little notifications you get, they're like, come in, we got this happening. You see the TV, hey, we got this going on. You see the billboards, like people are selling all day long,
All
right? So
day.
take
Yeah.
on that identity that I have something to give somebody else. I have a transformation that I can give somebody else and give them the opportunity to tell you yes. And my biggest one, this is what I love to do. I like to be a little bit delusional, okay?
Mm,
Everybody gonna tell me yes. Even if they don't tell me yes at the end, I have to go in believing that people are going to tell me yes. Because
mm.
that is the only way I can truly show up as my most authentic self, ready and open to serve. Any other way, I'm only thinking about me.
Wow. That was a golden nugget. Like you can drop the mic here, we can end the episode. They can go out and take more action and go and do that. No, but seriously, so listen,
Hmm.
when you are good, have you ever noticed, because you're a good listener, have you ever noticed that wherever you go, people just tend to kind of magnetize to you and tell you things that you probably shouldn't know about them?
Greg, look, I thought it was weird. I would be like, this person is telling me their whole. I'm checking out people telling me their whole life story.
Yes.
But you know what? When you acknowledge, like who you are and the
Mm,
energy that you give off, and that you really, I say, if you're a lover, people can feel that you're a lover, even if you don't open your mouth and say anything. And
mm,
so many times people are hurting. This is why sales is important, right? People are hurting.
mm,
People it's different people. Like I know somebody who's a detox coach. There are people literally dying, right? Like they need your help. And so
yeah.
once you go out and you're like, I am a servant first, people are going to start to come to you, right?
Mm,
Because people need the help that you have.
mm,
And it's so important. Like you can't just not look at it and ignore it. Like you are so important. You are so needed. You are so worthy that the gift and the abilities that God gave to you, you can nobody can do it like you.
mm,
Nobody can do it like you. So it is important that you meet your purpose. It is important that you get to the promises that He has for you because it's not just for you, it's for everybody else around you too.
mm. That's so good. And that takes us to that next step.
Mm,
Observe and repeat back to them
mhm,
your understanding of what they said.
mhm.
Do you think it's important to use their words?
In certain pieces,
Hmm.
right? Like if I don't be what's that bird that repeats everything you
A
say?
parrot.
A parrot. Don't be a
Mm-hmm,
parrot. Right? Because the reason a parrot is a parrot is because they don't have understanding of what you said. They just
mm-hmm.
repeat back what you said.
Mm,
Right? You want to show them that I understand you, your problems, and your desires. I think a lot of times in active listening is a skill, right? It is an actual skill people go in to learn because our brain automatically thinks about us first, right? And so active listening teaches us to think about somebody else before we think about ourselves. And so, honestly, this is something you can practice throughout life. You can go around, ask more questions than questions that you talk about yourself in, right? Learn more about somebody else than you tell them about you. And you will start to see it will start to come naturally the type of questions that you ask. And what I hear a lot of people say is, oh, they just give me surface level answers, right? Well, they're giving you surface level answers probably because the questions that you ask.
Definitely. You can always improve at asking questions. I
Mhm.
suck at asking questions.
Mhm.
I'm either asking a closed question,
Mhm.
like something they could say yes or no to, or I don't know,
Mhm.
or I'm asking way too deep a question for someone
Mhm.
I just met. There's no in between.
So
uh,
what I tell my clients is to ask what or how questions, right? What has this issue been looking like in your business, right? How would it feel if you were able to fix this issue in the next 3 months, right? What or how questions allows for deeper answers.
did you just change question everything forever? It's amazing how many things you can know or how many things you can hear. But when someone else says it in a much better way, see, like you watch courses, you said like listening and question asking and empathy and like all these things are courses that people actually take.
Mhm.
But the problem is people just like put so much stuff in a course that you don't need to get the transformation you're looking for.
Man.
All I needed to know about question everything is what kind of questions do I ask? Then you go into all this theory about how questions are formed and where questions came from and why questions exist and what questions do to the psychology. What and how questions. That's it.
Mhm. Yep. Yep. Keep going
Erica,
down. I mean, man, if you keep going down the rabbit hole with somebody, you will find so much all the information that you need to close the deal. They will give you all the information that you need.
say that again for the people in the back.
I said, if you keep going down that cycle of what, how questions, they will give you all the information that you need to close the deal.
You heard it here and you've heard it everywhere else, but the sales queen herself has told you if you keep going down the rabbit hole of caring about people, being
Mhm.
empathetic, listening, asking what and how questions, and then giving them the opportunity to solve their problem with you.
Mhm.
Because let's face it, you have a big heart, you have a solution that you actually care about giving people more than you care about getting their money. And let me tell you, the world is not like that. There are so many people scamming people out of their money because they're using these principles against you. They're using psychology and all of the tricks just for their personal gain. And every moment you don't show up and take more action, you are allowing that cycle to continue to happen. Gotta break out of that fear. Erica,
Mhm.
thank you so much, girl. Whew, okay, wow. I they're words that can't come out. My mind is blown and I can't hold on.
You
Okay,
are so
my
silly.
brain back in my head. Ah, okay. So, have you ever worked at a call center?
Unfortunately, I'm not gonna say unfortunately. It taught me a lot.
How so?
I would have to make 100 to 120 calls per day, working for 4 different companies doing sales for them. Now, let me tell you something. it is very uncomfortable sitting in a room full of people, right? And I'll just be honest, right? I don't have a degree,
Mm,
right? And so I was sitting in a room full of people with degrees, right? They had all these acronyms, and I had sold myself into getting this job because the job, it was great
mm,
pay, all this.
mm,
But the and this is one of the big things I tell people about sales. Sales is part skill, part motivation, and part consistency,
mm,
right? And what the job taught me was how to be consistent. Because
mm,
let me tell you something, you get on the phone with somebody 10, 20 times and people hanging up on you.
mm,
Why are you calling me? But I mean, just anything that they can think of because whatever's happening in their day. And you get rejected, but you still have to keep going. It builds something in you,
mm.
right? It starts to build character in you, right? Now I learned, don't say this when you first get on the phone because you're probably going to get hung up on. Okay,
Yeah.
so now we got to do this differently.
You learn a
You
whole lot of what not to do.
hmm A whole lot of what not to do, and being in an uncomfortable position,
Mm,
being around people who are nothing like you, right?
mm,
It builds your character. And so many times people will get into business or they will take on new projects, and they don't want to put in the work that's going to build the character so that they can be the person that they need to be to be successful.
mm,
So I would tell anybody who is afraid to do sales, right? Go and get the no's, go and get the rejection, and learn the consistency that you need to get the yeses. It is going to
mm.
be worth it. You can't skip the steps. You don't want to skip the steps because if somebody gave you $1 million right now, you wouldn't know what to do with it. So don't skip the steps.
Don't skip the steps. Take the stairs, not the elevator.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, that's so good. And you just like I asked you that question and I was so proud of myself for asking a how question because I just applied. I took action on what
Yeah.
I just learned in the moment, girl. Okay. So, what would you say was the biggest lesson that turned you from discouraged to this is what I do for a living?
Hmm. Hmm.
'Cause that's powerful.
That's powerful. What? Okay. Say the question again. Say it again.
Uh, Let me simplify it.
Okay.
What was the best lesson you learned from all that rejection?
Hmm. I think the best lesson that I learned was that when I overcome, other people can overcome. And this is what I mean, right? When I finally broke through my own barriers, when I finally stopped telling myself that I was not worth it, that I could not do it, that I was too afraid, when I finally showed up, other people got to overcome as well. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. So I think that was the biggest lesson.
Wow. When I overcome, others overcome too.
Hmm.
It's contagious, isn't it?
It's giving me goosebumps. Woo.
Oh my goodness.
Hmm.
It's it's so crazy how like the Bible,
Hmm.
it has said the same thing for thousands of years, and I've read it so many different times. And the same passage, I'll read it at different times in my life
Hmm.
and get the same, if not better, mind blowing results from the same verse.
Hmm.
Like, how did I not see it that way?
Oh,
And this episode is a lot like I'm reading the Bible,
oh,
the
don't say
sales
that.
Bible. I it I don't want to make you cry,
They're right. You know, I'm emotional.
but you were You are blowing my mind, and I know someone is watching this or listening to this thinking, I need to show up so that other people can know they can show up too. And I'm getting emotional too because I think, there's so many people I've never made them an offer. And spending that time with me and me pouring into them, they're able to show up. Me showing up on Facebook or TikTok or Instagram, not even YouTube. I like to show up on Instagram. I feel like
Right.
it's a different world. But showing up makes people feel like if he can do it, and I know he's afraid, and I know he's uncomfortable, and I know he has a lot of things to do, I have no excuse.
No excuse. Yeah,
When I overcome,
100%.
people overcome too.
Mm. You need to
Wow.
put that on the shirt, Greg.
Girl, I
He's
just
like,
thought
let me
about
write it
that
down
too.
right now.
Yeah, I'm about to be monetized where I can put my merch shop up here. Until then, the
Right.
link will be in the description. Go to the merch shop. When I overcome, uh, there's so many good things that could be on a shirt. I'm
Mm.
gonna have your face on the front.
So sweet. You're so sweet.
Oh man. Okay. So there's something else about sales that I think is really fascinating is people think that sales is trying to convince people to buy something that they don't want, don't need, or can't afford. What would you say, in a nutshell, that sales is based on
Mm.
your experience?
Hmm. I would say selling is serving. I would say selling is serving. And this is like the picture, right? I want everybody to try to imagine this, okay? Let's say you woke up one day and you wanted to buy a house or you wanted to buy a car, right? And just imagine there was no options for you. There was nobody give you any information on what you should do. There is nobody to help you guide you through the process. Like there was no options for you to buy what you desire to have. How would you feel?
Oh my goodness.
Greg, you are so silly.
I got another podcast after this, girl. I need my mind. Oh my gosh. Like, I never thought of it that way.
Mm-mm,
And when you see a salesman coming to your door,
mm-hmm,
the first thing you want to do is, oh my God, they're going to try to sell me something. No, I don't want it. And, you know, sometimes you don't need it,
mm-hmm,
but sometimes it's exactly what you need.
mm-hmm,
But because some people are taught the bully way
mm-hmm.
of like always, I don't know, there's so many
So many.
ways to sell that are not selling. They're manipulating and they're
Mm-hmm,
scamming. And
mm-hmm.
it makes people that actually care look really bad.
Really bad, man. I hear bad stuff.
So, what I'm hearing is people need you for their transformation. And if you don't show up with that big heart of yours,
Mm-hmm.
somebody with the wrong intentions is going to say they're going to help them
Mm-mm,
just to get their money to
mm-hmm.
leave them stuck in the same place they were before they needed the solution that
Mm.
person didn't have.
Greg, you are hitting it on the head. You are hitting it. People are going to spend the money regardless. If you look back at your bank accounts and look at all the money that you spend on all the stuff that you didn't want or that you didn't need, but you want it, right? People buy stuff because they want it. And if at some point, maybe in January, somebody said, look, I can help you transform your life. It's going to be a journey, right? You're going to have to get uncomfortable. You might have to sacrifice, right? You might have to do this, but at the end of it, it's going to be worth it. And you were able to put your money towards that instead of all the other stuff you know you don't need that's going to keep you in the same place for forever, right? And so, yeah, they're going to spend the money regardless. They can spend it with somebody who's going to hurt them or with somebody who's going to help them.
That's so good. So freaking good.
Mhm.
It's hard for me to be in the conversations I'm in sometimes because you say so many and it just so many good things that now I'm rethinking how I do things
Mm,
live. I'm like, oh, I've been doing that. Oh, I should do that.
mm,
I hope it's hitting the same. I hope everyone that's listening right now, it's hitting you the same way. I hope you never go away from this episode the same as you came in.
mm.
You've got to be changed because now you're
Man,
aware.
yeah. Ooh.
Unless you know, you can't unknow. Come on, Erica, drop some more jewels on us.
I'm telling you, I'm saying it as God is giving it to me because when you're in a podcast, like you know everything you know in your head, but I feel like God will just make it come out so that whoever needs to hear it can take it in however they need to take it in. And
Mm,
that's one of the things like that I love about the Bible. And last year I just took so much time spending time with God or whatever and really just refining who I was as a person. And one of the things that you go through is allowing that to speak to people. Like the Bible is living word, right? So
mm.
that means that, like you said, you could read it different times and it gives you different things back because it is living. And so when you get Christ in you, it's living. Like you it comes out and you
Yes.
be like, I didn't even realize I was putting that together like that, you know? But that's
Yes.
how it is. And then that's how you get to show up for other people. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
It is absolutely beautiful and a little bit terrifying when you've always thought that you were the only one you had to rely on.
Mm.
How does it feel when you make a sale versus when I know it's a lot easier for you today.
Mhm.
How does it feel when you make a sale rather than get a rejection
Mm.
and you didn't even try?
Mm. When the sale comes easy.
Mm,
You know, honestly, anytime I sell to somebody, I feel a feeling of like responsibility. Right?
mm,
And so, like, yes, it's fun. Yes, it's great. You get to collect the money, but more importantly than the money, now I am responsible.
mm,
I am responsible that now everything that I said to you, I have to bring it to life, right? I have to make sure that I show up for you, make sure that everything that you're supposed to be getting is there. Selling is serving because it is a responsibility.
mm.
And so I feel like whether the sale comes easy, whether it is I have to nurture you and get you there, whichever way, at the end of the day, it is my responsibility to make sure that whatever result, whatever transformation, that I put in the work to make sure that you get there, that we partner together to make sure you get there.
I love that, but I caught a word that
Mm-hmm.
always gets under my skin because it takes you away from gratitude and
Mm-hmm.
into obligation.
Mm,
You don't have to do anything, Erica.
you're right.
You get to
Yeah, you're right.
because God put you here, he kept you here, he gave us people to serve.
Mm-hmm.
But what you said just uncovered another level because we think it's the rejection that keeps people from sales
Mm.
when it's the responsibility.
Ooh. Yeah, I think you hit some.
Wow.
I think you
So
hit some.
it's deeper.
Hmm.
The
That's good,
response
Greg.
the the rejection is the excuse.
Hmm.
The responsibility is the root.
Ooh.
And I may even argue that what's under not wanting to take responsibility?
Mm. I would say trusting yourself. Oh man. You know what? I think And I think Myron goes through this so much, right?
Uh,
When he says, "You are the only person who knows every lie that you have ever told to yourself."
and this is why you are not confident.
And this is why. Oh, that's good, Greg. That's good.
Wow. So when you have a pure heart and pure motives to serve people, and you're willing to accept that responsibility,
Mhm.
you show up and serve, and the sales come as a byproduct.
There you go. Oof,
You know
that's
what?
good.
And that's why you can't sell and work a job.
Mm, that's deep.
Erica, I just got the chills. I've been feeling like the Spirit's been telling me, take the leap,
Mm,
because you can't deliver the things that you say you're going to deliver when you're giving 40 hours a week to something that's draining all of your energy because it's not who you were meant to be.
ooh,
But the safety of the paycheck.
oof. Mm,
So,
mm,
do I
mm,
care about the people or do I care about the money?
mm. That is deep, Greg. That is deep, Greg. You know, this, and I don't know why this story just came to mind, but they literally were able to get out of captivity. Captivity, right? They were slaves. They were being beaten. They were being mistreated, all of this stuff. And they got out of captivity, right? And now they're in the wilderness. They don't know what's going to happen. They don't know when they're going to get their food. Like all of these questions, they don't know what is going to happen. And so what do? They start looking back on how things used to be. We want meat. We want this. We want that. Things are not the way they used to be. They start complaining because they cannot see that the actual blessing that they got was the freedom, right? The thing about freedom is that it also brings it's not like unstableness, but it's like a piece of unstableness because you don't know what's going to happen, right? Anything can happen at any time. Whereas when you are comfortable, you can dictate what's going to happen next. I'm going to get up in the morning. I'm going to go to work for 8 hours. I'm going to come home and eat dinner. I'm going to be with my family. I'm going to go to sleep. It's predictable. The thing about freedom and really faith is that now you don't get to choose how it goes.
That is a bar.
Mm,
God calls us to have bold faith.
mhm.
So why do we have just in case it don't work out faith?
Mm. Mm.
And you said a word. Freedom comes with uncertainty. It comes
Mhm.
with having to getting to rely
Mhm.
on God,
Yeah.
right? Because if you really want to know
Mhm.
what it's like to rely fully on God, become an entrepreneur or a salesperson.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah.
And here I thought I had bold faith, and I'm over here. Look, I can't leave my house. I can't work from another room because of security
Mm.
and all of these levels of logins and VPNs and things I have to be on because they don't trust me
Mm.
or the people around me to not hack into the government systems. And I'm like,
Right.
girl, at this point, towards the end of my last job and this job now, I am getting paid to log in.
Mm.
That's it. That's
Wow.
all I really have time to do. I spend at least 6 hours a day re-logging in or dealing with some kind of access issue.
Mm.
I don't even know what I do. I can't tell you what I've done in the last 2 years unless I've been in person selling someone on an idea or listening to the problems they have so that we can come up with a more elegant solution for them.
Right. Right.
That's where I thrive. I need to be on
Mm.
stages, girl. I
Yes, you
need to
do.
be in rooms leading people
Yes, you do.
to the promised land because they in the wilderness
Absolutely.
right now.
Because they in the wilderness, Greg. You said it, okay? They waiting. They like, where they at? God send the help.
And it's so funny. God put Myron in front of me at a time where I could have taken a leap,
Mm.
but everything happen exactly as it should have,
Mhm.
because sometimes your talent can take you where
Mhm.
your character cannot hold you. And I am that kind of person that I'm talented and I can get myself in places, but boy,
Mm.
does my human get me right back out.
Mm. Ooh. Let me tell you, and it's never ending, right? And when I say it's never ending, I mean I have spoken on stages, right? I have done things in front of cameras. I've done all those things. Every single time, without a doubt, my mind says, just cancel it. Don't go. Just can't. Every
Yes.
time.
Yes. Like I was like, man, I got 2 podcasts to do today. But I just want to sleep.
Yeah,
And you know what I
exactly.
think it is?
Hmm.
The thing we need the most,
Hmm.
the devil doesn't attack where we are, he attacks where we're going.
Mm. Woo. Talk about it.
And so if there's something that God has for us that has a breakthrough on the other end, of
Hmm.
course we're gonna face rejection, resistance, um, second thoughts, like wanting
Hmm.
to cancel, wanting to not do it. And what happens every time you push through? What happens when you push through, Erica?
Oh my goodness. It's the person that you become on the other side of not allowing fear and comfort to hold you back is the person you have always been fighting to become. Once you show up, it will literally change you as a person, your character, your morals, your beliefs about yourself, your beliefs about the world. It changes you. And so, anytime you shy away, anytime you go into your shell, when you should be coming out and you should be showing who you are to the world so you can help them, if you don't decide to do it, you will never develop the character that you need to become successful. Never. Success is not on the other side of fear. It's not on the other side of waiting, of hoping that things get better from inaction. That's not how it works. You get better from obstacles. You get better from hard times. Once you learn to overcome, that's when you become the better person.
And how do you overcome, Erica?
Well, I seen this video the other day and I didn't even realize I was doing this, right? But there's this little voice in your head, right? Anytime it comes to doing something scary, you start feeling these feelings, you start saying these things to yourself. And really, it's like the child in you scared. Like they're sitting there in the corner, they're shivering, they're like, oh my goodness, it's the worst thing in the world. Why would you put me in this position? All of these things. And if you say to yourself, you are okay, you are going to get through this. You're amazing. Actually, people really need you. If you do this, you will be proud of yourself. Start talking to that inner self so that you can know that you are safe, that you're not about to die, nothing crazy is about to happen to you, that you are still a great person, you're still amazing, you're worthy, right? You are perfected in God. Once you start having these conversations with yourself, you will start to believe better things about yourself. Because most of us have terrible thoughts about ourselves throughout the day. How could you possibly be confident if you're saying negative things to yourself? If you're saying that you can't do, if you're not good enough, you can't do it, you're not cute enough, you're not small enough, whatever you say to yourself, if you keep those same things in your head, you will never push through. So you have to start having a better conversation with yourself every time.
I felt my inner child. Like there was a feeling like somewhere between my heart and my gut when you were saying that. And I thought, I've been such a jerk.
Say a nice word. Nope, nope. Say something nice.
Oh, see? See?
See?
I've been so mean to my inner child. If people heard the way I talk to myself, if I talk to other people like I talk to myself.
Come on now. Mm.
So, what are some of the things that you say that make you so great?
Yeah. I say, Erica, you are worth it. You are loved. You are a child of the Most High. You are the head and not the tail. You are the giver and not the taker, right? People are ready to be helped by you. People want to hear what you have to say. I will literally look at myself in the mirror and whatever I need to say to myself, I'll say it. If I need to drop a tear, I will drop a tear. If I need to jump up and down and clap, I will jump up and down and clap before we get on that stage. Like whatever I need to do to make myself realize who I am in him, who I am, he has made me to be, I can literally go and do anything, Greg. People be like, you don't seem like you're scared. And I'm like, after we have this conversation, look, it's game time. We're ready to go. Okay, let's do it. We smiling, we laughing, we happy, and we just have a good time.
Wow. Wow. Erica, I could go on forever talking to you. This is probably, and I say this every podcast, but I mean it. You just get better by taking action. You get better by showing up.
Mhm.
Every podcast gets better because
Mm,
I learned to listen better. I learned
mm,
to ask better questions, and now I know what kind of questions to ask thanks to
yeah.
you. And it's like every podcast is a game where I get a new unlock
Mhm,
at the end of the podcast
mhm.
for the next one.
Mm, I love
And think
that.
about that. You said just what I heard is you just got to keep showing up.
Mhm.
You got to keep telling yourself what the Bible says about you,
Ooh,
not what your head says about you, not what your jealous friends say about you, not what the
mhm,
haters say about you,
mhm,
not what your third grade teacher said about you,
mhm.
not what your hating sibling, uncle, aunt, whatever, the hurt
Right.
person in the store that told you you were a. That's not true. That's not
Not true.
you. This is so powerful. So I'm trying to think of a perfect way to end my podcast, and I've been noodling on it. I had like a set of questions I asked, and they
Mm,
seemed off. They seemed like it was more of trying to validate myself. Then there
mm,
was, it's one thing you want to tell your future self, and it seemed like I took that from someone else, and it wasn't me. And then there was, who are two people you think are killing it that could come on the podcast? I like
mm.
that one because that helps it grow and I get to meet people I've never met before, which allows me to question everything.
There you go.
So I'm going to go back to that one because I really like that one.
Yeah.
Who are two people that you think are absolutely killing it with taking action in life and showing up, being bold and courageous, being greater, that you would
Mm.
love to see me interview on the show?
Man, I could give you a list of about 10 people, but
Okay. You can
um,
send me that list
okay,
later,
perfect. Perfect.
but just drop two or even one.
Yeah, I would say, man, I would say probably Evelyn. She
Hmm.
goes by Evelyn the Pusher. She is a motivational and development coach.
Okay.
And she is really good at kind of almost like the same kind of idea of take care of the things that you need to take care of at that time, right? Like,
Hmm.
don't overtake so much in that you get nothing done, but
Hmm.
step by step, what you need to be doing in order to get to the next place. She's really good at that. Um, man, who would be another person? I have
That's
so many.
really good. That's really aligned with my
Yeah,
brand right now and where
I
we're
know,
going.
right?
That is perfect. You know what? I'm not even going to make you think too hard. The
Perfect.
next thing I want to know is where these people can connect with you, where these people can get your help, where these people can learn to sell like the sales queen.
Yes, I am the underscore Erica Nicole pretty much everywhere. So on Instagram, you can find me at the underscore Erica Nicole. I am Erica Nicole on Facebook, so you can find me on there. And yeah, I mean, I am excited to help anybody who is ready to take that next step. They're ready to serve people. They don't want to be sleazy or manipulative, but they want to do it with love and kindness and build their business that way. So yeah. Find me. I would be excited to connect with any of you guys.
You heard it from the sales queen herself. connect with her, come to the challenge. She probably will be there. I'm pretty sure she's gonna show up because she's all about taking more action.
Mhm.
And I I'm just so grateful for you. Like,
Mhm.
I don't think we realize how much of a breath of fresh air it is when you meet someone that genuinely cares about people and that really shows up to serve
Mhm.
when you've been around so many people your whole life that it's always been about them.
Mm.
So I hope this message lands with people to get out of themselves, start showing up, genuinely listening, observing, repeating back. Listen to understand,
Mhm.
not to respond.
Ooh, that's good.
And you will have everything that you need to serve the people you are called to serve.
Greg.
Girl,
Look, you
oh,
learn quick,
you
Greg.
just
You learn quick.
you just made me better. You just made me greater in less than an hour.
You're a quick learner, Greg. Greg, thank
Wow.
you so much. This was so amazing. This is the first interview anybody has interviewed me. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. You are amazing. I appreciate what you're doing.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
This is your first interview?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I want to first interview and you have this much confidence, so laid back, so impactful. Do you know most people, the first time they ever get on an interview, they are shaking, they have notes, they are scared to talk, laugh, do anything.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea. I thought you've been on podcasts everywhere.
No, I've interviewed other people. I've never been the interviewee.
Okay, I can relate
Mm-hmm.
to that though.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to add you to a group that is going to change your life. Expect the invite on Facebook. Speaking of Facebook, go ahead and join the greatest group ever. Erica's in there. She drops knowledge in there. A lot of people are dropping knowledge in there. It's the greatest group ever, not because I own it, but because you're in it and you are the greater one. So be bold and courageous. Do everything that you do with passion. I promise you will have a life that you love. Until next time, question everything.
Yay! Question everything. Bye.
All right. So that is where I will end the episode.